Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's Stephen here after a long week. There's been no videos this week because I lost my voice. I wasn't very well actually. Just sort of finally getting it back now. It's something I can still feel it roughly going. Just in time, of course, it's City versus Everton tomorrow. There will be, of course, a watch along tomorrow on bigup.com. Please join me there for that tomorrow. I said tomorrow about 400 times. I won't say it again. Join me for the Everton-Manchester City game. 19 hours from now, that's my way around it, when we talk about the game. Hopefully watch another City win. This of course is the preview today. We're going to go through all you need to know about that game. Give the video a like and subscribe if you're new. I haven't done a video in a week, so I am generally a little bit rusty here, so you have to be a little bit patient with me. Let me know if you're watching, and please do say hello if you're watching live as well. To Turbos in the chat, I love you too, my friend. Thank you very much for the very kind comment. And Alvin as well. What do you think of Nico? What did you think of Nico G's performance? What, against Palace? I thought he was good. Yeah, I was at the Palace game last week, hence there was no watch along. And I did my match reaction, of course, there. And then I lost my voice, so I didn't get a chance to do any more videos for the week. I truly could not really speak. So it was a great game. There'll be a little sort of special video coming up on my channel in a couple of days about that game, actually, at the weekend. It was good fun. I had a very special experience there. But yeah, the City versus Everton. Of course, this now is a top 5 race. I find it wild, by the way, that it is a top 5 race these days, not just a top 4. 25% of the teams will get Champions League football in the Premier League. 25%. You got a 1 in 4 chance of getting Champions League football you play in the Premier League, which is just absurd to me. It's far too many. But I'll take it this year. As you can see, City currently sat in 5th ahead of Chelsea. Villa, very impressive the other night. Particularly... considering the first leg against PSG, they were immense and so close. Conte's probably still having nightmares about that, of going through to the semi-finals. Looking where Forest are right now, Forest seems to be the team that we can chase down. They dropped down to 4th with Newcastle leaping ahead of them. Newcastle very much riding the Carabao Cup feel-good factor. And Forest actually last time out lost to Everton 1-0, I think. So we've got the Forest conquerors. Got to talk about Forest a little bit in a minute anyway, given certain transfer rumours, which I'll go into in a second. So, but looking at that table, basically, I'm not really scared of Chelsea overtaking us. They could do it. It's basically Villa. Villa could jump us. We've got to hope that we can leap one of Forest or Newcastle, probably Forest potentially, or just try and keep one step ahead of Villa, because Chelsea could do it. Chelsea have been a bit of a mess and they seem to be dropping off. So we've got to sort of stay there. I still think we are very likely to do it as it currently stands. I think Forest could actually dip a little bit more, so we will see how that goes. This game, of course, Everton sat down in 13th. I was reading some stats about it. I think, let me read the stats. Only 4 Premier League teams have accumulated more points than Everton since the arrival of Moyes, which is really impressive. Got a record of 5 wins, 6 draws and just 2 defeats across 13 games since he came back. Yeah, really impressive form. Everton have flying up the table since Moyes came back. He's at his spiritual home, back where he belongs. And he's got them flying. Yeah, last time out, of course, a very impressive 1-0 victory away at Forest, which was really good. Decore playing in a bit of an advanced role at the moment, been really effective ahead of Idrissa and Garner. Dyer and Harrison currently out wide. Dwight McNeil, I think, might just be back. I don't know. But yeah, Brozier up top that one. It could be better in the next one. I don't know. But either way, they've got a pretty settled back line with Branthwaite, Tarkowski, Mikalenko as well, Pickford in goal. Yeah, so we know what you're getting with them, basically. You know what you're getting with Everton. They're going to be incredibly well organised. They're going to be really strong. They're going to be effervescent, aggressive, playing without fear. And I think just they're in a real feel-good place right now, Everton. It's going to be difficult, man. I was reading the stats, and we haven't actually lost to Everton since they beat us 4-0 back in 2017, Guardiola's first ever at Goodison visit, his first season in the Premier League. Since then, we've had 15 games unbeaten against them. I think we've won about 8 in a row against them as well. It's been 12 wins and 3 draws in the last 15 games against Everton. So it could be, that's a horrible omen and maybe a good omen at the same time. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, last time out, we played Palace. That feels like a lifetime ago now. This is how we lined up that day. Ederson, of course, in goal. A bit of news about him to come soon. Rico was at right back. Nico was at left back. Diaz, Vardiel, then Kovacic, Nico Gonzalez, McAtee, Ilkay Gundogan, Marmoush, and your man Kevin De Bruyne are playing. There's a sort of quasi false 9 striker thing going on there, where really it was McAtee and Marmoush playing as a false 9 type situation. I'm expecting changes again. Expecting a few changes. There was been some rumours, by the way. I'll go on to the transfer rumours because you guys probably want to talk about it anyway. Morgan Gibbs White has been linked to Man City quite strongly by Jack Gordon. Now, Jack Gordon is the Northern Football reporter for the Daily Mail. He knows his stuff, and if it comes from Jack Gordon, it's usually reasonably accurate, you would guess. And we're apparently considered front runners in pursuit of Forest's Morgan Gibbs White this summer. I've seen a lot of arguments going on the Twitter timeline, or the X timeline, I guess, over his suitability. And look, I'll be honest with you, which I think a lot of people aren't. Like, you have to have a really strong opinion either way immediately. My opinion's just sort of been shifting the more I think about it, the more I watch him, the more I talk about it. Some days I think it could be a great signing. Some days I'm not quite as sure. Obviously, a lot depends on the fee. What City are willing to pay. I think Gibbs White is a really good player. Like, my initial reaction was one of negativity, and then I sort of paid attention to him. I realised just how talented he is. The caveat is that we don't know if he can do it against the deep block, because we haven't seen him play against the deep block, because Forest don't play against that. They play counter-attacking football, and he's been their hardest working player, to be fair. He's been really, really good. Really, really skillful. Great passing with either feet, but he plays into space an awful lot. A lot of people are saying, but I want Florian Wirtz instead. Now, we've got the answer to this anyway. Apparently, Florian Wirtz is City's dream signing, but obviously we don't know if he wants to come. He's tempted by Bayern Munich and Real Madrid. I think his dad wants to stay in Germany as well. So it's one of those things where I don't think the two are linked. I think City would happily sweep up both if they could. I think they see Gibbs White sort of as more of an 8, I guess, and Wirtz as more of a creative outlet. I might be wrong there, but yeah. And people said as well, I saw a question, but would he start for the current Champions League semi-finalists? Well, I don't know. I've not seen him play for a Champions League semi-finalist, so I don't know how good he could be. And what I mean by that is, like, a player, you can't judge a player and you can to an extent, but you don't know what after. And by the way, by the time you get to Champions League semi-finals, you're 7 months into it. I don't know what he'd be like after 6-7 months at Man City. He could be amazing by then. I don't know. Like, Fernandinho wasn't that good when we signed him. He was a really good player, but he became world class under Guardiola. Rodri's twice the player he was when he first joined. So I'm not saying he'd do that too, but what I'm saying is I don't know the answer because I don't think the question's fair. I think the question ignores context and potential development. And I also think, back onto the 8 thing, look, we're losing De Bruyne, and his wages are going to be like 400 grand or whatever, so they're going to be freed up. I think it's very obvious that Bernardo, Gundogan, Kovacic, both of them will be gone inside the next two seasons. Both of them, all 3 of them will be gone. So we're going to be down 4 midfield inside the next year or 2. We need players, and we need homegrown players. So unfortunately, we can't ignore the fact that if this player is really good, and Gibbs White works aggressively hard, he's technically really good, he's strong, he's dynamic. I prefer him as an 8. I think he's actually quite a good 8, to be honest. Box to box, aggressive, lots of natural ability. Look, we just watched Declan Rice, batter Real Madrid, and Morgan Gibbs White's doing a very similar thing for Forest as he was doing for West Ham. So I don't know. I think he looks good. Do I know he would be a superstar? I don't know. To me, my suitability in it depends on the fee that we pay. If we pay the rumoured 100 million, no, I wouldn't see it. But I think it would be less than that. I think City would be pushing for like 70 million or something like that, plus add-ons to 80 or something like that. I don't know. He's got 2 years left on his contract. I think he'd want to come to Man City. And I think, to be honest, you're telling me you wouldn't want Morgan Gibbs White instead of Gundogan and Bernardo? Come on. I'm not. I don't. Look. No, yeah, I am comparing Rice to Gibbs White. Like, Rice early on, the West Ham version, not the Rice. Like, you can't turn around and tell me now Rice is exactly the same player as he was at West Ham. He's not. He's got better in the past 2 years. And that's the point I'm making. Players get better. So, everyone asks about players don't improve. So, that's the thing. I think he's look, I'm not going to tell you he's going to be world class, but I don't know if he can't be world class. That's all I do know. And the fact is, we've got to sign some homegrown players. So you can't moan about signing English players always. It's going to have to happen, unfortunately. Anyway, it's an interesting bit of news. I worry about him because I don't know if he can break down a low block and all that kind of stuff. I admit. City should sign homegrown players as squad players. So you want us to sign Nap? Look, that, and with all due respect, it's a dumb logic, mate. When you don't sign players you can get into your first team, you get what you've got now with people like Nunes or Kovacic who aren't quite good. You sign players that you think could be good. Anyway, Rangers is a better player than Morgan White. Maybe he is, mate. Maybe we try and sign him too. I think City are going to try 2 midfielders. That's the point I would mention. When did I mention? What I didn't say, you didn't mention Rice, Dev. Alvin did, so that's why I'm mentioning Rice. Anyway, guys, so yeah, that's the rumours. We'll see how it develops. I don't know if it'll happen because of the money and all that kind of stuff, but I think City are interested in him. And I would probably advise you to go and re-watch some stuff about him. He's clearly very talented, great footwork. Can he do it at City? I don't know. We'll have to see. So obviously, last time out against Crystal Palace. No, I'll go to the quotes from press conference of Guardiola. So let's talk about the game. Guardiola said, unfortunately, Ederson's ruled out for City this weekend. I don't know how long he'll be out for. We might not see him again this season, unfortunately. Ederson is out for a while now. We might do, we might not. Fit Haaland's not ready yet. Next games will not be ready. So look, you presume another a few weeks at least. Guardiola said Goodison Park is so special, like all traditional stadiums in England. When you go to Fulham or Villa Park, stadiums like this, you feel the atmosphere is special. Yeah, it's like why I miss Main Road, to be honest. But clubs grow, and I'm pretty sure their new stadium will be nice in terms of being maybe more comfortable. It's a nice place to go. Difficult one, of course, but a nice place to go. Yeah, it's a shame to lose Goodison Park. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's a legendary stadium, you know, and we'll see how it goes. He said Sean Dyche made an incredible job. I just don't forget how Sean took over in that moment. Difficult position, but yeah. But he said, but the impact of David, his experience, an incredible job at the West Ham too, all his career, he's done an unbelievable job in terms of results. The patterns are clear, so difficult to handle. It's an important week for us. He's asked about the Champions League games today. I enjoyed the games, really nice games. I enjoyed it. Miss it, of course, but accept it. I'm a person who doesn't complain much from what life gives me in good moments and bad moments. Sometimes in sport you don't perform well and don't deserve to be. Just hopefully next season we can be there, dealing with the big clubs in Europe and challenging them better than we have done this season. What we've done the last 7 years, I take it in that way. Yeah, he's right. Absence can make the heart grow fonder and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it's bad to be fighting to qualify for the Champions League. You could be in a very, very low position in the Premier League if you have done a few good things that we've done in these 4 or 5 months. It could be 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. I don't have any doubts of that. It's in our hands, and of course, Goodison and Villa is massively important. You know, he's right. I know people act like we've had a season where we're 12th, but ultimately we kept our shit together enough to be where we are. And if we get Champions League football this season, maybe another trophy, that would be great, wouldn't it? That would be wonderful news. Especially given the fact that, you know, all the injuries and so on. Akanji and Foden, Guardiola said they came back. Phil just on Thursday, and today will be second session since Old Trafford. And Manu, he made 2 or 3 sessions with us, and I see him moving really well. I think Akanji coming back would be really good news, actually. I think Akanji would be a really nice option at right back, potentially. I know he had a few bozo moments early on in the season, but I think he's been tired. And I think if the team has... the team has struggled this season, and I think he struggled too. But Akanji, I think, would be a really nice... Put it this way, I would like him at right back more than Nunes or Rico at the moment. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's good to have him back either way. Hopefully Phil Foden comes back in a bit of form. No update on Stones and Nathan. Not yet. They're getting better, but not yet, Guardiola said. And that's all basically there was to add to that. Look, I'm expecting City to be... when I look at how we played against Palace... I think McAtee had a really good game. I didn't get a chance to chat about it on the 5 things learned. As I said, I literally lost my voice. I really wasn't well this week. I had a nasty virus going around. It's been knocked me for 6. Has anyone else had it, by the way? A real horrible, aggressive sore throat, and it's been going on for a week. It's been horrible. But yeah, I think tomorrow is pretty much a must-win. Diaz in the chat. I think we need 3 more wins to probably get Champions League football. 3 or 4 more wins. If you get one tomorrow, it'd be great. It's going to be hard though. Away at Goodison right now. You played McAtee and Marmoush out wide, and they sort of... Marmoush... I mean, I'll build the team how it was at the weekend. I'll put McAtee... Oops. McAtee was out here, and even though I listed KDB there, it was sort of like this. McAtee and Marmoush were moving ahead of him, and they were getting really far like that way. And Gundo was sort of around here, wasn't he? Kovacic and Nico. Nico was really good, by the way. I thought Nico Gonzalez. But KDB was definitely getting up there, and O'Reilly was getting further forward a little bit. But yeah, KDB was sort of like here, and McAtee was cutting across here. There's one particular for the Marmoush goal. McAtee drifted out wide, got the ball, and played a lovely cross to the back post. KDB headed it back, and Marmoush. We ended up, honestly, the goal for Marmoush ended up like that, which was really smart play from the team. So I'm expecting to see, something like that. It's probably not Fenway. I mean, it might be COVID or flu. Who knows, mate? Yeah, they do go hand in hand, Michael. Though it was like Ruben had it like 7 weeks ago. Then Nicola caught it, and I finally caught it. Oh, He's not even at nursery Ruben either, so he's just caught it. But in terms of the team, obviously, I think KD will play again. I think O'Reilly might get another start here, I think he might do. I think they might be tempted by Vardiel, but I think O'Reilly might get another start. I think Vardiel starts again. I want to see Kusanov play, but I don't think you will do. I think he's going to play Ortega in goal. He could play Akanji at right back, Don't be surprised to see this. Akanji at right back and sort of something like this, where O'Reilly gets forward a little bit. I think we will see. I think he might start McAtee again. I think he might do, because I think McAtee was good the other day. I think he was. I think people gave him a lot of stick, but I think he had a really smart game and he offered a lot. I would say we might see McAtee start as a false 9. This is my bold shout here. Gundogan here, Nico there, and De Bruyne there. I think we might see McAtee here and Savinho out wide. I know that sounds a bit wild, but I think we might see something like this, which sounds a bit mental. But I think we honestly might see something like that where McAtee plays as a false 9. Marmouche will drift on the left traditionally. He could go for, you're right, he could go for Vardiol on the left. And it could be that Akanji comes immediately back into the side. He could play Kusanov there and Vardiol. He could play Diaz and Kusanov with Akanji. It could be something like that. If Akanji comes back in, Vardiol could play back on the left again for experience. I don't know. It's going to be really difficult to see. I'm not really sure. He could go for Nunes as well, right back. It's going to be really hard to predict this one. Really hard to predict. I do feel like City will get something tomorrow. I'm a little bit less confident about a win than there was Palace. I mean, the Palace game, of course, was a wild disaster at start. It turned into an absolute cracker of a game. But I think City will get something against Everton. It might just be a draw. I know I'd love to predict a win, but Everton are flying. Then I do think City have reasonably addressed their form. I mean, we've not scored. We didn't score against Forest or United away, though, so our away form hasn't been great. That's the only thing. They're our last 2 away games. But Everton are pretty much safe. They're playing for pride right now. Well, they're not pretty much safe. They're 100% safe. They're just playing for pride. They're not going to achieve anything this season other than getting up the table. And I think tomorrow, if you look at the fixtures, let me look at the Premier League fixtures. Here's the Premier League fixtures for you. So this weekend we've got, if you look at our rivals, Villa Newcastle is massive tomorrow. So if we can get some points early on and put some pressure, Villa Newcastle, I mean, you want Newcastle to win that, really, don't you? You want Villa to drop points there. I mean, you take a draw, but you can't have Villa winning. You can't have Villa winning because it gets too close then. I think you need Villa to drop points some way. That's what I would argue. I'd rather people in front keep going instead of people behind catch up, if that makes sense. Forest have got Spurs as well away. I think Forest might drop points there because Spurs, I know they've been terrible, but Newcastle don't have games in hand anymore, do they, mate? I don't think so. Look, Newcastle are already ahead of us, mate. They play the games in hand. Here's the table. There's the table. Yeah, the table's level now, mate. Newcastle play their game in hand. So there's no games in hand now. I mean, I think Newcastle are definitely getting Champions League football. Look, if Villa win and we drop points tomorrow, Villa jump us. So if Newcastle win, I'm hunting down Forest for me and trying to stay ahead of Chelsea, Villa. I think we can jump Forest, and I think Forest, Liverpool, Spurs on Monday. I know Spurs have a diabolical form, but their win the other night in Champions League, in Europa League, Spurs are shy, but I feel like they could do that there. So I'm hoping City get a win. When you look at the fixtures, I want Newcastle to do something there. Chelsea away at Fulham. No, I think Fulham will get something there as well. So it could be a very good weekend for us. If we can get a win, we could be a few points clear of a few rivals, which would be massive. Anyway, guys, let me know your prediction. I'm going to go for 2-2. Now, my heart says a 3-1 victory. My head says 2-2. I think it's going to be difficult, really. I think De Bruyne is going to score. Marmouche probably again, actually. I think McAtee might get a goal. Foden could return it, but he's not playing much football. And I think Guardiola, he's not really tempted by Savinho Doku right now. I think he likes the sense of goal that McAtee has and Marmouche and De Bruyne. So we'll see. Guys, big love. I'll see you tomorrow for the watch along on bigup.com. For now, though, let me know your opinions in the comments below. Subscribe. Bye-bye.